This is a meeting of the Stafford Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business, and it's not to be considered as a community meeting. There is one opportunity for public participation during the meeting, and comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. The board will listen to comments but may not respond during the meeting. If you wish to address the board, please raise your hand when public participation arises on the agenda. Roll call, Charles Hicks, Board President.
Gerald B. Joyce, Vice President.
Good evening, Leslie Love Smith Thomas, Board Secretary.
Ashanti Bland, Board Treasurer.
Amani Johnson, Board Trustee.
Yvette Ware Duvall, Board Trustee.
Trustee Rice.
Okay. Dr. Green.
Good evening, Dr. Jennifer Green, Superintendent. And joining me this evening, we have Ms. Laura Norris taking minutes, and I am accompanied by the district's executive district network team, as well as numerous principals and fabulous teachers that are joining us this evening.
Would somebody mind leading the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure, I will.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Board Treasurer.
That's a Southfield grad. That's a Southfield graduate, by the way.
Board matters. Well, first of all, I want to say welcome to the May meeting. Seems like the school year has flown by. I want to definitely say happy belated Mother's Day for all the mothers listening in and all on the call. I want to say happy Teacher Appreciation Week, and then in my family, I got a teacher and a mother who celebrated those events. I want to say that I'm very appreciative for all of you and all the things that you've done and all the things yet that you're going to continue doing to enrich our district. This is the time of the year that is the most joyful being a trustee, as well as one of the most where there's sadness. We see our students who are getting ready to embark on the next chapter in their lives and graduating from our district. We also have many teachers, administrators that I've seen start to show their signs of their next chapter, and they have turned in their retirement papers. So we're starting to get ready for that transition. And this one's going to hit a little bit different because there's several teachers and administrators who've poured into me, poured into my kids, poured into our kids, that I've decided to start a new chapter in their lives, and we wish them well. Any other board matters from any trustee at this time?
I do, Board President. And I say thank you as a teacher myself. I thank you for your happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Even though you didn't specify it to me, I do grab hold of that and say thank you. Actually, my board matters kind of piggybacks right off of what you just mentioned in terms of the retirement. In education news right now, there is a lot of talk about the fact that the teacher shortage continues to increase. It continues to be a matter that is a dire need, especially on the heels of the pandemic, and where as teachers who are able to retire are opting, as we look at going back into the building, are opting to retire versus going into the building. And then as it relates specifically to when I say that, I'm giving a general statement as it relates to Michigan educators. I just want to be clear on that. I don't know the specifics of the teachers who are opting to go to retire or not for this upcoming school year, but I am concerned about the fact that the state continues to have a shortage, as well as the fact that many of our educators in the district tend to be of the point in their career where they could opt to retire. And I'm just wondering, what are we doing to ensure we're getting fresh teachers in? What are we doing with our are we taking advantage of any of the alternate certification programs? What types of partnerships are we having and really maximizing for with some of the teacher preparation schools, not only the institutions, but also with the MDE, with other alternate certification programs to make sure that we have that we don't have those loss. Those are my board matters.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. Anything else from trustees?
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I do want to say congratulations to all the teachers that are retiring and all of the wonderful educators that I've had an opportunity of working with over the course of the years. There was also quite a few that seemed to have retired last year amongst the COVID pandemic that we were experiencing, and it is truly a great loss, but congratulations in your new journeys as you all move out of our schools. I also wanted to just lift our day that we had with vaccinations for the seniors. It was really a great event. It was fun. It was great to see a lot of the kids. They were excited. We had a couple of parents that worked with the children to get their shot. So it was a great time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next as we move forward with keeping our children safe during this pandemic. Thank you.
I did have one more item. It's really for the trustees. Many of you had sent a listing of various subcommittees that you wanted us to potentially explore. Just wanted to let you know that we have not lost sight of that. What I propose we do is to have MASB kind of come in and explain to us, help us with the structure of some of those subcommittees, just to make sure that we, establish ones, that definitely that you have priority over, as well as giving us guidance on what's the best practices in managing those subcommittees, just to make sure that whatever we do start, we have a good foundation to make sure that we can get value add out of those subcommittees. The other thing that we wanted to have you all start thinking about is that, with us having a new mix of board, it may be value added to have a mid-year or some point another retreat where we can do some deep dives and level set and get ready for next upcoming school year. So we were thinking that, start thinking of things that you may want to have added to a board retreat, and hopefully we have it within maybe the August timeframe, giving us the jump start that we need to prepare for wherever we are at that time related to CDC guidance and getting ready for opening up for the next school year. Just having our alignment with administration on how we are going to proceed with that. And with that being said, is there anything else related to board matters at this time?
Board President, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to again say happy Teacher Appreciation Week to everyone, all the teachers, all the principals, assistant principals. I also would like to thank the Southfield Police Department for their Please Stop Me event. What a well done event. Chief Barron, Mayor Siver, President, Councilwoman Lenny Taylor, and Commissioner Yolanda Smith-Charles all came out to support. It was really nice seeing children from the U, Southfield A&T getting their hands on to learn what to do if they're stopped by the police. It was cold, it was rainy, but they still came out. And the police department was very informative and very welcoming. So I just wanted to lift that and say thank you, because I think that's very important. And I think Southfield is definitely setting a trend by having that event. And thanks to our families for coming out and bringing your sons and your daughters. You could tell some of them didn't really want to be there, but they were there. And I think they walked away with the knowledge that at times we all need refreshers on. So I just wanted to lift that and thank the Southfield Police Department for having such a great event.
Yeah, we're gonna have to handcuff Chief Barron to his desk. Folks trying to snatch him, but we're gonna leave that alone for now.
Board President, might I ask you to address a matter related to the Oakland Schools Board of Directors?
Yes. Did you want to bring that up? Talk to it, or you want me to lift it?
I'll mention it, and then however you think is the best way to proceed. I don't know if we should have a board action, if there are other trustees who are interested, because as you know,
Yeah.
only one person can represent the school district on the ballot.
So what Trustee Smith Thomas was referring to, I received correspondence that I believe I shared with you all, with those who potentially may have interest in running for available seats on the Oakland County School Board Association board. Trustee Smith Thomas, I believe, maybe you have some interest in representing us on that board, but I wanted to see if there's any additional trustees who may have interest, and if not, if we could support Trustee Smith Thomas in running for one of those available positions. Okay, so I don't hear any additional folk interested in running. Do we have support of Trustee Smith Thomas representing us at that level?
I would definitely support Trustee Smith Thomas representing the Southfield Public School Board of Education at that level. Yes.
I
I
do.
support.
Yeah, I do support as well.
Okay,
I support too.
excellent. So I'm hearing
Thank you,
consensus.
colleagues.
I hear consensus. Well, I don't support it. So well, I'm joking. Good luck in your run, and if there's anything we need to do to support you further, let us know.
Thank you. I'll submit my documents and then I'll let you all know from there. You'll have an opportunity to vote.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Any Trustee Joyce, Vice President Joyce?
No, I'm good.
Oh, I thought you were chiming in. Okay. All right. Dr. Green, report of the superintendent.
Thank you, Board President. Before I begin my formal report, I would like to address a couple things that were lifted during the board matters. That being the teacher shortage, not only in the state of Michigan, but throughout the Midwest and the nation at large. Please note that I am serving on the MDE, Diversity and Equity in the Education Workforce. There are 100 individuals representing all districts throughout the state, and your superintendent is one of those individuals. I've also been approached by the Center for Black Education Development in Southeastern Michigan. They are looking to pilot some programs here in Michigan, which would be partially funded by the Balmer Group, and they are prepared to come and speak to the trustees at the May study session so that you can learn more about their program as well, which is an alternative platform to certification. It's also important to note that our district, in pulling the data, we are with a ratio of 15-1 in terms of student to educator. We are significantly below our collective bargaining agreement. In some instances, we are 50% below what our collective bargaining agreement states. So this is also an opportunity for us to right size our district by way of attrition and not having to impact anyone's personal salaries and or through layoffs. So we are looking at this very closely and we are monitoring it on a daily basis to ensure that we are not only retaining those positions where we are required and are in most need, but also that those positions that we can absorb through attrition, we are maximizing that and being fiscally responsible as well. So, any questions regarding that piece? Okay. Very pleased to announce that the class of 2021 activities are coming together. We have a full week of activities starting on Sunday, June 13th, whereby we are declaring that a family day. And we are recommending that your seniors spend time with the families on that day. So, Board President, I know you have a senior, so be prepared to plan something for that senior on that day. We really want to celebrate not only the student, but the families, because we recognize that the students could not get to this milestone in their life without the support of their families. Then on Monday, we will have the first prom that is going to be at the Rooster Tail for Southfield A&T and Southfield Regional. On Tuesday, we are going to have the on-site graduation for those of our babies at Kennedy Learning Center. On Wednesday, we are suggesting that everyone gets some rest because the remainder of the week is going to be at a rapid pace. Starting with Thursday, we will have the prom for the youth students at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. On Friday, we have two events, well, really three. We have the graduation rehearsal for both graduating classes, and then we have the caravan of cars that will take over the city of Southfield, led by the fire department and the police department, and we will caravan through the entire city of Southfield. And then, of course, on Saturday, that will be the monumental event whereby we will have the commencement ceremony at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater in downtown Detroit on the Detroit River. Now, what is most interesting about our events, the district is going to pay for the majority of the events, as we did not collect senior dues or have fundraisers this year. We are providing this by way of a private philanthropic organization. We are also going to cover the cost of the prom for any student having received both of their doses of the vaccine. At this time, it is Pfizer, as evidenced by their CDC card. Now, if they are 18 years or above and receive Johnson & Johnson and or Moderna, we will honor that as well. But the evidence will be that of the CDC card, not the ones purchased on Amazon, but the real CDC cards. Any questions regarding our senior activities?
Well, not a question, but I just told my son that said, as the board member, that I had to go to his prom. He went from smiling to frowning in less than 2 seconds. So, you know, I haven't told him yet that I was joking. So right now he's probably trying to figure out a way to get me not to go. So
Well, as I told the parents on the call, the children have clearly articulated to me that they do not want the parents in attendance at the prom. Therefore, I am banning all parents unless they have super clearance with the district. And unfortunately, board president does not qualify as super clearance. Therefore, I am going to side on the side of your son. You cannot attend.
you just made it today.
I have a question through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Will Kennedy Learning Center be holding their prom event this year?
To date, they will not be holding that. It is due in part to the fact that the Michigan Department of Health and Human Service guidance still requires us to use outdoor events. And if you recall from years past, the Kennedy Learning Center prom, or I'm not sure if they called it a prom or not, but it was an amazing event. It was held inside in the gym. So we couldn't adhere to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Service guidance. However, it is rumored, and I don't operate on rumors, I operate on data. It is rumored that that guidance is possibly going to be released in the next couple days, as there is a bill on the Senate floor and the House of Reps floor with identical language, which states that high school graduation or year-end activities will not be subject to the CDC guidance. So I will keep you posted as those bills pass through both chambers.
If that happens to be the case and Kennedy Learning Center decides to put together an event, if you could please let us know. I know they usually rely heavily on donations from the community, dresses and different things like that for the young people. So I would love to assist with that. As I've donated in the past, and I would definitely love to see them be able to pull that together if they can.
Absolutely. And I will find out more on Thursday, as Thursday is the day that I meet with the Oakland County Health Department. As soon as I get off of that call, I will send all trustees an update. Board President, at this time, I defer my time to the Board Vice President. I believe, oh, I'm sorry. There's one more item that is a really special item. It's also tied to the class of 2021. I'm not sure if this special young man is in our list of attendees or his family, but I would like to, at this time, acknowledge Mr. Owen White. Mr. Owen White, and this is with the permission of his parents, Mr. Owen White is a student at Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology. He has been accepted to Michigan State University. Mr. White has really excelled throughout his career at Southfield A&T. He had various plans of support. He is a student who benefited from personalized curriculums, and it's just a message to us all that no matter what challenges you face in life, please continue to pursue your dreams. We wish to congratulate him. He was also featured on Fox 2 News, and we are very, very excited that he is going on to the Michigan State University Board President.
Wow, I'm gonna leave that alone. Congratulations to that gentleman. And the question is the family, are you in the audience? If so, if you could raise your hand. I see a White, but I'm not sure if that's the White that we're looking for.
And the mom's last name is Martin.
Lakia Martin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see them, but there are a few callers on the line, and I'm not sure if they are one of the callers.
I see C. White. I believe C. White is dad.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to make that person a panelist.
Okay, C. White has moved up. If C. White could unmute.
Good evening, Dr. Green. I am a teacher at Stevenson. I am not the parent of Omar White.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Well, we are all parents of all of our children, but we truly appreciate that, Ms. White. But we are very proud of Owen, and I was hopeful that Owen would be on the call tonight with his parents. We will send everyone the Fox 2 News story celebrating Owen's success, and we look forward to his future success to come.
And go, I can't say it, but good luck at Michigan State.
Go green, go white.
I couldn't. I tried.
I will be there to cheer him along. Next on the agenda is regarding Teacher Appreciation Month. At this time, I will defer my time to the Board Vice President. I believe that he is going to lift our report 5981, followed by our very own Commissioner Yolanda Smith-Charles.
Okay, thank you. This is a resolution in support of acknowledging May 3rd through the 7th, 2021 as Teacher Appreciation Week. The Southfield Board of Education hereby resolves, whereas teachers play a crucial role in the development of socially responsible and culturally sensitive citizens, empowered to meet the challenges of a rapidly changing global and technological advanced society, characterized by care, curiosity, creativity, crucial thinking, and the ability to effectively communicate, collaborate, and contribute to society. And whereas teachers educated all students in a collaborative, safe, supportive, and high-quality, student-centered environment and prepares dynamic, innovative learners to compete within the global society. And whereas teachers instruct, motivate, inspire, and mentor students so they can reach their academic goals, potential, and development into successful future leaders at a local, state, and national level. And whereas teachers support all children and provide creative opportunities to learn, grow, and to excel so they can contribute to our society, economy, and communities in meaningful, constructive, and productive ways. And whereas, along with parents, teachers are among the most influential and significant mentors and role models to countless students across our state who look to teachers for academic, social, and emotional growth. And whereas in the midst of the many challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic, teachers have shown unwavering dedication to their students, going above and beyond to ensure that students have the resources and support they need to learn and engage both on a digital platform and in the classroom. And whereas teachers have implemented various innovative and creative solutions, including filming educational videos to engage students, using technology for virtual face-to-face learning, and even planning virtual field trips. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Southfield Public School District Board of Education does hereby proclaim May 3rd through 7th, 2021 as Teacher Appreciation Week, and is honored to publicly acknowledge and thank our teachers for their outstanding contribution to the students, parents, and families of the Southfield Public School District. Be it further resolved that the district will place a copy of this resolution in the permanent records of the Southfield Board of Education. Resolution declared and adopted by the Southfield Public School District Board of Education at a meeting held on Tuesday, today, May 11, 2021, to be signed by Charles Hicks, President of Southfield Board of Education, and also to be signed by Dr. Jennifer Martin Green, Superintendent of Southfield Public School District. The undersigned, duly qualified, and acting Secretary of the Board of Education of the Southfield Public School District, County of Oakland, Michigan, hereby certifies that the foregoing is a true and complete copy of the resolution adopted by the Board of Education at a regular meeting held on Tuesday, May 11, 2021. The original of which resolution is a part of the board's minutes, and further certifies that notice of the meeting was given to the public under the Open Meetings Act, Act 267, Public Acts of Michigan, 1976, as amended, to be signed by Leslie Love Smith Thomas, Secretary, Board of Education. That completes the resolution.
Board President, if it is the will of the Board of Education that we open and move forward with a complete vote to accept the resolution.
The chair will entertain the motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the resolution as read. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote, Board Secretary.
Trustee Rice?
Yes.
Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Ware Duvall?
Yes.
Trustee Bland?
Yes.
Trustee Hicks?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Unanimous.
Motion carried. Dr. Green?
I was going to say we have a very special guest this evening, previously known to many of us as Trustee Yolanda Smith Charles, now known to us as Commissioner Yolanda Smith Charles, and she too will present a resolution on behalf of Teacher Appreciation Week.
Thank you, Dr. Green. Are you able to hear me just fine?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Welcome.
Hey, team.
How you doing?
Feels like we haven't missed a beat. I feel like I'm back in my location. That's why I had to put this background up just to remind me of the role I'm playing today. But, you know, one of the commitments I made as a new commissioner was not to forget my roots. Of course, Southfield Public Schools goes with me every day. And now I get to adopt Oak Park as one of my new beloved public school systems. So I wanted to make sure, as one of the 2 resolutions that I offered this year as a noob, was to make sure to recognize our teachers for Teacher Appreciation Month. And while I recognize it's not fatter checks or, nicer vehicles, I do want to at least say thank you. And I know that this does not just recognize teachers who perhaps are standing in front of kids. This is also to recognize all of the folks who who are part of the community of educators. So Mr. Joyce, Trustee Joyce, did such a fantastic job with his resolution. And I know when I sat in your seat, the last thing I wanted was someone to read me yet another resolution. So I will just skim. I will skim through some, but I wanted to hit some quick points. The Oakland County Board of Commissioners, which is where I sit now representing District 17, we had a miscellaneous resolution that went forth, I sponsored, where we said Oakland County school teachers are responsible for shaping the hearts and minds of our children in order to ensure they all have an equal chance at success in life through education. And whereas our teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, creating safe and loving school cultures, building deep partnerships with families and community, collaborating with colleagues, and reflecting on their own craft, we also recognize that during this current state of COVID-19, teachers have been given many challenges. And if I may add as a caveat, just really took the ball and ran with it early in Southfield Public Schools last spring, where you guys were faced with and met unprecedented challenges. You spent countless hours researching the best learning environment for our young people, and you continue to influence students long after school days are gone. We can all think about a teacher in our lives who was really super special. So we said, now therefore it be resolved that the Oakland County Board of Commissioners appreciates and recognizes the dedication of all Oakland County school teachers and hereby designates May 3rd through the 7th as Teacher Appreciation Week in Oakland County. That the Board of the Commissioners strongly encourages all members of the community and our local governments to also celebrate with us and be sure to show appreciation to teachers near and far. And, if you watch any of our commission meetings, we are partisan. So there's Republicans and there's Democrats. Very rarely do things pass unanimously. And I'm happy to report that this resolution passed unanimously for the county. So with that, I will close my comments, but thank you for the opportunity to speak again. My name is Yolanda Charles, Oakland County Commissioner, District 17. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week last week, and thank you to all the educators.
No, we thank you. You don't have to introduce yourself. We know who you are. Southfield alum, former board trustee, and our current Oakland County Commissioner. We appreciate you and we support you in all that you're doing. So thank you for that resolution.
Thank you, Fran.
Commissioner Smith Charles, will we have a copy of that to place in the official records of the Board of Education? Oh, I think she's muted.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments for Commissioner Charles?
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Charles, thank you. Your continued commitment to Southfield Public School District is greatly appreciated. That was awesome.
Board President.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say to Commissioner Charles that we're looking forward to collaborating with you in the future, because I know there's a lot of things that we can share and talk about and maybe partner with you on. So thank you so much.
So Commissioner Charles, one more thing that we want you to kind of repeat. You had mentioned on a few other meetings that we both were on about the need for summer employment opportunities. Anything you want to share related to how our students can benefit from some of those activities?
Oh, yes. Great question, because we are at that time where folks may be looking to get their young people experiencing the wide, wonderful world of work. And so at the county, our Oakland County Parks and Rec, you just approved and voted for a big old millage. We have about a $50 million budget at the parks alone. So I want our people down here in the southern portion of the county to take advantage. If you go to the Oakland County website, that is oakgov.com, you'll see the Parks and Rec tab there, and you can click there and find out about a number of summer jobs available. Not necessarily just for children even, it's for folks who want to get out. We're re-engaging with our docent projects. So if you want to do some tours and show people our nature spaces, all those types of things are available. So if you don't find it, feel free to reach out to the board president. Any of these trustees know how to reach me. So yeah, good tip. And they're still hiring. So definitely check it out.
Board President, what
Yes, ma'am.
I will do is follow up with Commissioner Smith Charles, and I will forward that link to all of our building level administrators to share not only with our students, but with our families as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you for all you do. We support you.
The next item on the agenda is the preparedness plan update. As all of the trustees know, we have gone through hundreds of governor's executive orders, and then they transferred from governor's executive orders to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services orders and guidance, and they continue to update. It seems as though they come on Tuesday, so by the time we get off this call, I may have something new to share. But for right now, the preparedness plans that we have redlined for you have updated the policies that were previously adopted by the Board of Education. So this would be considered a first read for those particular policies. They are in the 8,000s. They are specifically that of 8,425 and, they're both 8,425. So as outlined in our policy manual, you will see that they are redlined. One copy that you received has the redlined information at the very end. The other updates are in that of blue. So this would be considered a first read for that particular policy. I would also like to highlight on this evening under the Southfield Public Schools Board resolution dated August 11th of 2020, which granted the emergency powers to the superintendent for the 2020-2021 academic year. Although I've not used those powers at all, I will be exercising that for board policy 5410, and that policy will be temporarily suspended. That particular policy speaks to the recommendations for promotion, placement, and retention. At this time, the administration does not support the automatic retention of students in grades K through 8, specifically as it speaks to retention and placement decisions. However, to provide guidance for our buildings, we have stated that all students that are being considered for retention must be evidenced by specific multiple data points of academic growth and achievement, previous retentions, documented differentiation relative to the student's needs academically, social, emotionally, and developmentally. They must also consider the age of the student in relation to the grade level peers. They must consider the social, emotional, physical, and developmental factors, the parent recommendation, and documented discussions at parent-teacher conferences or in-person meetings, report cards, and or any IEP or 504 referrals or assessments. If the retention is the recommendation of the building and the family dissents that decision, there will be an appeal process for that appeal come to central office. And if the staff disagree with the final recommendation, they may place a written statement in the student's file. That has been the only board policy that the superintendent is exercising in regard to emergency powers. Any questions or comments regarding that recommendation?
Yes, through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm certainly in support of that, of the position being taken. And just at a very high level, I just want to know what guidance, if any, are we getting from MDE regarding third grade retention as it relates to the read by grade 3, and what is the district's position in alignment with that as it relates to compliance?
As it pertains to the state, the Read by Grade 3 bill continues to move forward. That is part of the rationale in regard to suspending Board Policy 5410 for this school year, because we do not believe that students should be retained if all factors have not been considered for this academic year. We've also been told by the state that many of those letters will not reach the homes of our families until the summer, when many of our staff members will be away for summer recess, making it virtually impossible for those appeals to be heard. Therefore, we await further guidance. I'm meeting with Dr. Rice, Michael Rice, our state superintendent, on tomorrow with the Middle City superintendents, and I'm hopeful that he will bring forward additional information. However, the legislature at this time has not suspended the Read by Grade 3.
And just a follow-up question as it relates to the assessment. Which assessment are we using as a district as our local assessment? Is it the iReady, or does it vary by grades? Is it iReady across?
It is iReady in grades up through 8. We do not have a standard local assessment for the district in grades 9 through 12. That many of those assessments have been developed through Illuminate DNA, which is data and assessments. So they are valid and reliable assessments, but they are not a district standard assessment similar to that of iReady or NWEA. But K through 8 are using NWEA. I'm sorry. We are using iReady.
iReady. And is that data also the student growth data being used for evaluation for the teachers?
The teachers are using the SLOs for their evaluation.
I'm not familiar.
The student learning objectives?
To evaluate the student growth?
Correct.
Okay.
We can provide additional information on those.
I was gonna ask if you could just provide some additional. I'm not familiar. I would like to just be able to get a better understanding of that.
Absolutely. We will. I think Ms. Pam English is on the call. I know I saw Ms. Summer on the call, so we will make sure we forward all that information to all trustees this evening.
So to the point that in you all's dialogue just now, is there something that we need to do proactively to relax that or suspend that bylaw or that policy for this year, or is that premature at this point?
No, actually, the administrative or the emergency rights that you granted me on August 11th affords me an opportunity to suspend that policy. However, I would never suspend anything without board knowledge, which is why I'm lifting it to your attention on this evening. So it is considered suspended at this time. Yes.
Okay, excellent.
And Board President, I think it would be, I think it would show great advocacy if this board did present some form of a resolution just in support of acknowledging the need to be more relaxed as it relates to retention, just being more considerate of not only the challenges for the teachers, but also for the students, and how kind of taking this approach really honors the fact that the wellness of the whole child should be the primary focus. So I think in some form of a resolution from this board would be a great support to what the superintendent is recommending, as well as just a support and advocacy for our children and our families.
Okay, I agree. Any opposition, trustees? Okay. Anything else, Dr. Green?
Through the chair, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Green, just quickly, and this is just a clarity point. I know you stated earlier that the retention will only be considered when there has been ongoing and documented communication. You also stated that if a staff member disagreed with the final recommendation, that they may place a written statement in the student's file. Is it also, would the parent be notified if a staff member disagreed with the final recommendation? How does that work?
So that conversation would occur at the building level, where the decision is made by the building network team along with the principal. We have developed an appeal process whereby if the parent has a dissenting opinion of that recommendation, it can come up to central office, where that would be the final decision after hearing all of the facts in the case. So the parent would be kept abreast of all of the progress made along the way, including that of any dissenting opinions from the classroom teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Dr. Green? Hearing none, action items. The chair will entertain a motion to open and approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I second.
It's been properly moved and second that we open and approve the consent agenda. Any corrections or comments? Hearing none, Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Rice, I'll come back to Trustee Rice. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Ware Duval,
Yes.
Trustee Bland,
Yes.
Trustee Hicks,
Yes.
Trustee Joyce,
Yes.
Trustee Rice,
Yes. Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can hear you. Yes.
Okay, great.
Myself, yes. Unanimous.
Motion carried. The chair will entertain a motion to open and approve Report 5973, Oakland Schools 2020-2021. That can't be right. Is it 2021-2022?
You are correct, Board President.
General Fund Budget.
So moved.
Support.
It's been properly moved and second to open and approve Report 5973. Any questions? Hearing none, Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Rice,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Ware Duval,
Yes.
Trustee Bland,
Yes.
Trustee Hicks,
Yes.
Trustee Joyce,
Yes.
myself, yes.
Did you record Lauren's vote?
I did.
And Ms. Norris, for the record, make sure you make that correction for the 2021-2022 general fund budget for Oakland schools. We're grateful for all of their support that they have provided to our school district during this time of the pandemic. So I just wanted to note that, Board President.
Excellent. I agree. And motion carried. The chair will entertain a motion to open and approve Report 5974, Return to Learn.
So moved.
Support.
It's been properly moved and seconded to open and approve Report 5974. Any questions or comment?
Through the chair, I just want to know if there are any revisions or anything that has changed since we last reviewed it and voted.
Board President, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
There have not been any changes. We do have to submit documentation to the Michigan Department of Education every 30 days as required by the Return to Learn legislation. Therefore, this would take us through the end of this academic school year. There are no changes whatsoever. However, I would like to note that it is our plan to return back 5 days per week in person in the fall of the 2021-2022 academic school year. We have developed a survey. It will be coming out to our families relatively soon, asking for those to note their interest in possibly participating in a virtual school, which would be stagnant. It would not afford them the opportunity to vacillate between the virtual school and that of the in-person school, because next year we are looking at some hard and fast rules coming down from the Michigan Department of Education and the legislature relative to what virtual schools will be approved. So we are asking our families in the next week to identify their desire for the fall of the 2021-22 school year.
Any other questions for Dr. Green at this time? Hearing none, Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Joyce,
Yes.
Trustee Hicks,
Yes.
Trustee Bland,
Yes.
Trustee Ware Duval,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Rice,
Yes.
myself, yes, unanimous.
Motion carried. The chair will entertain a motion to open and approve Report 5975, Talent Management Personnel Action Report.
So moved.
Support.
It's been properly moved and seconded. The open and approve Report 5975. Any questions or anything presented from HR at this time, Dr. Green?
Not at this time, sir.
Okay. Hearing none, Board Secretary, please call for the vote.
Trustee Rice,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Ware Duval,
Yes.
Trustee Bland,
Yes.
Trustee Hicks,
Yes.
Trustee Joyce,
Yes.
myself, yes, unanimous.
Excellent. Motion carried. Informational items. Trustees, before we jump into the items, I'm going to ask that you consider, after we go through giving you an opportunity to hear and ask any questions, consider taking informational item A through D as a motion at some point to approve if you so choose, either as a group or if you prefer to do them individual, we can do that. But as you're listening to them, just know that the desire is, due to time sensitivity, we act on some of these informational items. So with that being said, Report 5976, Ascension Providence Hospital Athletic Training Services Partnership.
My apologies, Board President. Are you asking that be brought to?
Oh, no.
Are you asking for a motion or
Oh, no, I'm sorry. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go through each one individually so that you all can ask any questions you have on background on the item themselves, have it presented. But then after we conclude with D, I'm going to entertain a motion if you all are aligned with making those items actionable items. So at this point, 5976, just wanted whoever's going to present that item to the trustees.
Thank you.
I ask that they present at this time.
Thank you, Board President. This, if you may recall, for trustees that have are more seasoned trustees, approximately 2 years ago, we did an independent services contract with a young man for athletic training services in our district, not having any at that time. The young man, of course, wanting benefits and some additional things, went on to work for Ascension Healthcare. We also recognize that if we partner and or contract with the healthcare provider, that we have a different level of liability, because the liability then falls with that of the healthcare organization, not that of the individual person. Therefore, we are recommending this evening, if the board so desires, that we sign a contract with Ascension Providence Hospital, where we would receive athletic training services by way of the hospital. The individual that was with the district does desire to return. However, that person would have to apply through Ascension, of which is now that individual's employer. Our main concern is making sure that we have someone on site for our students in the event that they have any medical needs throughout their athletic experience.
Trustees, any questions? Okay, hearing none. Report 5977, trash removal and recycling services bid.
Board President, this was placed out for RFP. As you know, school districts can compile a lot of trash throughout the regular school year. This school year, we had significantly less trash coming from our buildings because most of our babies were operating virtually. However, we do anticipate being back full throttle in the fall, which requires daily pickup from Southfield A&T and pickup from our other schools 3 days per week during the regular school year. And then throughout the summer, we would continue with the daily pickup from that of Southfield A&T because they generally host our summer programs, and our other schools would go down to that of 1 day per week.
Trustees, any questions on this item? Hearing none. Report 5978, ITC mechanical upgrades.
Thank you, Board President. Really excited to bring this recommendation forward. As I shared with the trustees earlier this week, we did receive a large portion of our touchless Chromebooks into the district, which will be utilized for next school year. And throughout the summer, we have had multiple experiences where the heat in the ITC, which is in our Instructional Technology Center, becomes overheated, and it poses a problem and potential jeopardy for our technological equipment. So we are asking at this time that we purchase a compressor in lieu of continuously renting or leasing a compressor. I did follow up with one of the questions that was asked relative to the lifespan of that compressor, and I've been told that it's approximately 20 years, which will probably outlive most of us. At least in the school district, not in life, but in the school district.
I hear you. But to say, man. Okay.
No, listen to school.
Okay. Any questions, trustees? Okay, hearing none. Report 5979, food service contract.
Thank you, Board President. Again, this is part of a 5-year contract with SFE, which is Southwest Food Excellence. However, it is still required by the Michigan Department of Education that we approve it annually. So while they are still under the 5-year umbrella that was initially approved, we do have to have in the minutes whereby it's noted that the board continues to support that particular organization. And I think that we all agree that they have provided us with supreme service throughout this entire pandemic. So the administration is recommending that we continue with that contract.
Thank you. Any questions, trustees, on this item?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So what year are we in now? Second year with them?
This is we are concluding our 2nd year. We are going into our 3rd year.
3rd year, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to open and approve report 5976 through 5979.
So moved.
I second.
It's been properly moved and second to approve, open and approve reports 5976 through 79. Any additional questions or discussion? Hearing none, please call for the vote, Board Secretary or Lauren.
Trustee Joyce.
Yes.
Trustee Joyce. Trustee Hicks.
Yes.
Trustee Bland.
Yes.
Trustee Weir Duval.
Yeah.
Trustee Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Rice.
Yes.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Unanimous.
Motion carried. Report 5980, credit card policy revisions.
Thank you, Board President. This is a revision to include that of our new P cards or purchasing cards. You may recall in December, of 2020 or November of 2020, we shared that we had some new programs coming online in our finance department, one of which was the purchasing cards. And we want to ensure that our board policies are aligned with what we are actually doing in the district. So this is a first read, whereas we are including that of the P cards into our board policy. So there will be no action, as we would have to bring this back for a second read during the May 25th board meeting.
Any questions in the interim, trustees? Hearing none. Monthly financial report.
Again, thank you, Board President. All trustees have been provided with both F and G, the monthly financial report, as well as the bill disbursement report. We do have Mr. Ingram as well as Mr. Harrell online if there are any questions regarding either of those items.
Well, Dr. Green, while we're waiting for Mr. Ingram, just as a
Well, I wasn't sure, Board President, if you wanted him to go through everything,
oh
which
no
is
no.
usually
I mean,
time consuming. That's why I was asking. I stated that all trustees had that information and it's included in our packet.
Gotcha.
So if there are any questions, we will entertain questions.
Trustees, any questions on the monthly financial report? Okay, so
And or the bill disbursement report, which is G.
yeah, either or. Okay, I don't think we have any. Dr. Green, just kind of going back up to the young man that you had mentioned, Mr. White.
Yes.
I believe his parent is on the line. Would you
Oh,
want
that'd be
to?
wonderful.
Okay, so I'm gonna make.
Oh, there she is. Miss Lakia Martin, please move her up. Good evening, Ms. Martin. We did acknowledge Owen. I hope that he's there with you this evening, as well as Dad. We recognize his accomplishments as well as his acceptance to Michigan State University. Go Green. Say it, Board President. Come on, you could do it.
You can do it, Board President. No.
Go, hold on, I got this. Go, Mr. White.
There you go. There you go. Yes, I love that.
And we did not practice that, but we are so very proud of Owen, and we wanted to acknowledge not only his accomplishments, but the accomplishments of both you and Dad as you continue to advocate for his success. And we are so excited to see what he will accomplish in the near future.
Thank you so much for just acknowledging Owen and everything he has accomplished through Southfield A&T. And we're looking forward for this next journey. Right now, Owen is actually taking a nap because his days he's exhausted after he gets out of school. So he's taking a nap. And I just wanted to say thank you for the support down to Dr. Freeman, Mr. Zager, Ms. Harris, may she rest in peace. And everyone else, all the teachers that just really wrapped their arms around Owen from the 9th grade till to where we at right now in the 12th grade. They just really wrapped his arm and helped provide the educational support that he needed. And so just want to say thank you to Southfield in general.
Well, I could say this. So you might want to get your recordings on. I don't mind saying go Green for one of our students going on to their next chapter. So I wish him nothing but success, and I'm sure that he's going to thrive on that campus. So
yes, thank you.
Good luck to him. Okay, went through all of those items. Public participation. If you wish to address the board regarding a school-related issue that has not yet been resolved by school administration, please raise your hand. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. As a matter of fairness, speakers with complaints against individuals are asked not to mention any persons by name. Complaints concerning employees pursuant to Board Policy 9130 should be brought to the attention of school principals or other administrators before coming to the Board of Education. Your cooperation is appreciated. And I see that we have Mr. Goldberg. Please state your name and address for the board, sir.
Moshe Goldberg, my address is 15618 George Washington in Southfield.
Please proceed, sir.
So first of all, thank you for the opportunity to address the board. And I just wanted to first thank everyone personally. I have this opportunity, the president, the vice president, the trustees, and our exceedingly capable superintendent. I, over COVID, got to watch how they operated through this unprecedented time in a stellar manner, and witnessing the respect and collaboration has really been a true pleasure, something that I was privy to watch because I got on a few times to watch the board meetings, and just something that I haven't seen. And I feel like it really speaks to me. I'm involved in education my whole life, and my family is, my parents are teachers, and it feels like family. What should I say? I'm talking about the Brace Letterly. I sent out emails to a number of the trustees and the superintendent regarding the Brace Letterly building on 9 Mile. So essentially, I want to ask if we could have a study session to, instead of taking time now to discuss it, to see if we could talk through and see if it's a win-win for the school district and the community. Southfield has been really a forerunner and a role model as an inclusive and diverse community, which we all know, and the Orthodox Jewish community has found that to be true. And we know there's been a precedent with Shano's that it worked out for the community and for the school district. Obviously, we all want the school district to be in a strong position because we rely on the Southfield public school system to ensure the viability of our neighborhood and our surroundings and our neighbors and friends. So I would like to ask if we could have a study session to find out about the idea, what I would like to propose for that property.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Goldberg. We will talk to the trustees offline to explore your request. Any other persons having an item for public participation at this time? Hearing none. Anything for the good of the order, trustees? Okay. Hearing none. Future meetings. Wow, there's a lot of stuff here.
Board President, before you move on, hearing now for the good of the order from the trustees, if I may just add that late yesterday, the FDA did approve the Pfizer vaccine for students 12 through 15. So at this time, we are believing that on tomorrow, the EUC will vote for that to move forward. Being proactive, we as a district have already partnered with Bloom Pediatrics as well as Ascension My Health Urgent Care, and we will have numerous events to afford our families an opportunity to receive that vaccine if they so choose to. The next one will be available on Friday, May 21st from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. It will be housed at the Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology in the field house. There is a survey out in our community right now. To date, we have 90 families having expressed interest. We do have space for 250 families to come through. So any family ages 12 through 18 can receive their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine on site at Southfield A&T on May. I still want to go back to March. This year's going by too fast. May 21st, and then they are scheduled to come back to our district on June 11th for that second dose. So we are very proud of the proactive partnerships that we have established.
Excellent information.
I have a follow-up question through the chair.
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
So with the vaccine, I did see the survey that went out. Will families be given an appointment time? Is it kind of show up first come? What's the structure, or will there be any follow-up communication to families once the survey has closed out?
Excellent question. Those surveys and the questions that people may have are going directly to the pediatric staff at Bloom Pediatrics. So they will be following up with each of the families to provide them with a time during that window of 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Once we know what those times are, we too will follow up with our families to ensure that we are their point of contact. We never put our families in the hands of strangers. So we will follow up, but they will get something from the pediatrician as well as from the school district. And we felt it important to have a pediatrician do the vaccines for our younger students, given that pediatrics is slightly different than that of adults. So we wanted to have those specialists on hand for this this opportunity.
And you picked a great firm. I've been dealing with them since my oldest. He's 20.
Wow.
He's 28.
Who knew?
So
That's great. They've been amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Anything
And Board
else, Trustee?
President,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, keeping in mind that we have voted to take a break in June, in the month of July. I do see we have several meetings happening in June. Are any of those action items including the student board rep and the interviews we need to have? Keeping in mind that we'll want that in place in August, in the fall, and then if not, Board President, as a reminder, if we could get that on the calendar for next month, and then also the MASB coming in for the committee structures. If it be the pleasure of the board, if we could have that added into a study session, and that's already scheduled, I guess, for June as well, so that we go into the fall with some structures in place, if that is not too much to ask, and if it can be accommodated, if in fact we want to continue with having the month of July off.
Gotcha. So let's deal with them one at a time. So Dr. Green, do you have any update on student reps? Or
It is
what
our
next steps are?
next steps for that would be that by the study session in May, we would have the list of candidates brought forward to the trustees. And then between the study session in May and the board meeting in June, the official board meeting or the regular board meeting in June, then those candidates would be selected by the board trustees. So that is the process that we are moving forward with this year.
So for new trustees, what we typically had done for student reps, we'd have a subset of trustees who would interview the candidates. We have a set listing of questions that we would ask that those participants, ask the students, and then you all will give us a recommendation as to who the student reps would be representing their respective schools. So at this point, I guess I ask, are there any volunteers who want to participate in that selection process? I see Trustee Bland. Anybody else? Typically, we're looking for like 3.
Trustee Ware Duvall is pointing at herself with all of her hands.
Oh, okay.
And I would like
be
to volunteer as well.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
wait a minute. I think I heard Trustee Johnson, and I would like for him to have the opportunity. If he would like, I can step back.
all right.
Yeah.
So I think I heard Bland, Ware Duvall, and Johnson want to volunteer.
Through the chair, I will step down to allow another member who may have already gone through the process.
Well,
that
I
is a little more
think
seasoned.
it'd be cool for you 3. So
Okay.
this is what we can do is we can maybe have we can provide you with the questionnaire, because I think you all will do well. It's pretty much what we look for in a candidate. Is pretty much, I think you already know. We want a good representation of an individual who represents their school, that will be a liaison between the student body and us, and they're representing the students, right? And so this is an opportunity for them to tell us why they want to be a student board rep, and your job as trustees is just to see if they align with what our vision is for a student board representative. So I think you all will do well. And then basically what we do is we give them a point system. They fill out an application and answer questions based on that application. And what we can do is we can provide you all with a copy of what we had used previously to get you acclimated, and then maybe we just have some conversation as to what we've done procedurally, and then we can. I think you all will be cool. And then, but if you all, if we feel that one of us should participate, we can adjust it. But I like the three of you doing it actually.
And Board
So
President,
board,
I would like to extend my apologies.
No, go ahead.
no, I was going to ask for clarification on how many board reps the board requires from Southwood A&T. I know that because of the merger some years ago, we were doing 2 board reps from Southwood A&T, but it was my understanding that we were phasing out 1 and that eventually we would get to just having 1 from each respective high school. I'm seeking the pleasure of the board so that I know how many to put on the slate for interview.
So I think we and to agree to the pleasure of the board, we do 1 for each school. So 1 for SRAC, 1 for A&T, 1 for university, unless the board chooses to do something different. What the only difference we had prior is that we did have 2 representatives from Southfield A&T due to population and to what Dr. Green mentioned, the consolidation. But at this point, to be honest with you, there's no student who's a student at Southfield A&T that previously went to one or the other high school that formerly existed.
Board President, I would like to suggest that we go with the structure of 1 student per school with a backup student in the case that the main rep is not available.
That
And
makes
then
sense.
also on that topic, I just want to state that I extend myself as a support to the new trustees who are going to serve on this committee. So if at any time you all decide you would like to call me, of course, outside of meeting, because once you all get into your meeting, you cannot call me because that then becomes quorum and a part of the Open Meetings Act. However, before going into the meeting, if you would like to call me, I've sat on that committee several years, so I'm open and available to support in any way. But I agree, I think it would be a great experience if they served in that capacity.
And since you all are talking about student board reps, we had a recent student board rep who actually, she was a student board rep and her sister was a student board rep. And she just recently graduated and she gave the, I don't want to say it was commencement address, but I guess it was on behalf of her class. So we had a former schools, student rep, graduate, and then have them to excel and achieve at that next level and speak before their class is just another good representation of the caliber of student that comes from our district. And I can forward you all a copy of the her address that she gave. It was deep, just hearing her perspective on how. I'm sorry.
And board president, I believe she was also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority
Oh
incorporated.
yeah, that too. Yeah, that's true. True that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
she's and then she still has siblings in the district who are also achievers. So it's kudos to that family, and I'm sure her sister will follow in her footsteps as well on everything that we stated thus far, because she too was an excellent student. So we have some high caliber students coming out of this district doing good things. So I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of our students thriving and not just surviving in the college. So the other point that Trustee Rice, you had brought up, so we talked about the student board reps. You had mentioned about MASB. I think if we could see if they could have availability on the 25th for our study session, maybe we can have them come back on that day, just to give us kind of the high level on the subcommittee structures, recommendations, best practices. But if that's too soon, then maybe we can see what can be accommodated maybe on the 22nd, because I believe those items should go fairly quickly. So just maybe one of those 2 days, if that's the pleasure of the board. And Trustee Smith Thomas, did I miss anything?
Nope, those were the 2 items. Thank you.
Okay.
Board President, all of these.
Trustee Milan, was that you?
That was me. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Said to support having us put MASB to speak about the subcommittees on the agenda for an upcoming meeting. I think that would be support on that.
I think we, at least I missed part of that.
No, I think I was breaking up.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was just
I think
letting you
you're
know
back
that I
up.
support that. I support
okay.
us making the MASB an agenda item. I think that's a good idea for them to come in and talk about the subcommittees. So I was just reiterating what you had already said. I do think that is a good idea, as well as having one member from SRAC, one member from A&T, and one member from the U be considered for the student body rep.
Okay.
Board President, if I may add that we will reach out to MASB regarding that request. We will also be reaching out to Neola. As I mentioned during our last meeting, unfortunately, we are no longer with our former Neola rep due to his transition on this earth. We do now have a new Neola rep, he has the same first name, different last name. So we will be meeting with him to go over any additional policies that we need to consider for revision and or adoption for the next school year. So whichever meeting we can fit MASB into based on their availability, we will do that. On the opposite meeting, we will work to have Neola present to go over upcoming policy adoption, if that is okay with the board.
Any concerns, board, on that? Okay. I think we're good there. Anything else, trustees, that we may have missed, or have anything that you thought of since? Okay, hearing none. Future meetings: Tuesday, May 25th, 6 p.m. special board meeting study session. Tuesday, June 8th, 5:30 p.m. fiscal year 21 budget amendment. Then at 7 p.m. regular board meeting. Then on the 22nd of June, 5:30 p.m. truth and taxation. Then also at 6 p.m. Fiscal year 22 budget amendment. No.
That should be 21. These 2020, 2021, 22s are getting a little confused, but you're right. That budget amendment should be for
It's budget, is proposed
adoption.
budget.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
Yes, proposed budget for
Adoption.
Back up. Hold on. So on the 22nd, we're going to be presented with the school year 21-22 budget proposal. Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the 29th of June is when we adopt the budget that was presented on the 22nd.
Correct.
Okay.
For fiscal year 22. Yes.
Yep. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Any questions on any of that, trustees?
We will get that.
You are new. Yes.
Yeah, we'll get
it
up and add it to the calendars as well.
Okay. So just as a background for you all, on the 8th, as you go through your budget throughout the year, there's points where you have to make adjustments. So what we're trying to do is make an amendment to the budget to make sure that our budgeted categories align with our actually spend dollars. So that's what we're going to be doing on the 28th, is adjusting that budget. And then on the 22nd, we're going to go through the proposed budget for next school year. And then on the 29th, we will approve that budget as the budget going into the new school year.
And Board President, we will also have several lunch and learns for all of the trustees in
Cool.
smaller number to ensure that everyone has input on that budget prior to the June 22nd fiscal year 22 budget proposal.
Excellent. With that being said, meeting adjourned at 8:24 p.m. Talk to you all soon.